Riverdale has become one of the biggest shows of our generation. From Betty to Veronica to Archie to Jughead, they've captivated our hearts and made us wish that we could all go to Pop's and get a milkshake together. So while we're not so patiently waiting for season 3 of Riverdale to return to our screens, we've decided to share 9 shows you should watch if you love Riverdale right here on Listed. First up, Twin Peaks. Now, if you love Riverdale's whole small town harboring a big, twisted secret thing, then Twin Peaks is definitely worth watching. Although the Archie comics are a huge part of the series, Riverdale is just as inspired by Twin Peaks. They even allude to Twin Peaks pretty often, most notably in the casting of Madgen Amick as Alice Cooper. And if you want to pick up on a lot of cool little Easter eggs and references hidden in Riverdale, then you are definitely going to want to binge your way through Twin Peaks, which you can totally do on Netflix. Next up is Pretty Little Liars. Popular high school girls who may or may not have killed their best friend. Sounds a lot like Cheryl Blossom if you ask us. Pretty Little Liars has the same eerie tone as Riverdale, with constant murders and stalking, not to mention super terrifying uses of cyber terror. It's also insanely unpredictable and has a lot of terrifying moments. Riverdale learned a few things from PLL when it comes to evil twins, red herrings, and serial killers. Plus, the forbidden romances in PLL are just as juicy as those in Riverdale. All 7 seasons of Pretty Little Liars are also available on Netflix. Now, before there was Veronica Lodge on Riverdale, there was Veronica Mars on Veronica Mars. In the show, Kristen Bell portrayed a brilliant teen detective, which led the way for a new era of feminist leads on television. She's a smart, strong high schooler who solves crimes for her fellow classmates while struggling to be your typical high school student. You can purchase all 3 seasons on Amazon and then watch it when the revival comes back soon. Next up is Stranger Things, and although Stranger Things is set in the 80s, Riverdale does give us major retro vibes because of its comic book inspiration. Both shows are very dark and mysterious, and they start off by focusing on the disappearance of a classmate and then feature the kids who are left behind to pick up the pieces. If that's your thing, Stranger Things is also available on Netflix. Next up is Gossip Girl, and talk about iconic. Not only are Veronica and Betty the Serena and Blair of this generation, but Archie and Jughead totally remind us of Nate and Dan as well. Archie is the teen heartthrob with an attraction to older women, and Jughead is the outsider who journals everything on his computer. You can watch all 6 seasons of Gossip Girl on Netflix, and we know you love it. XOXO, Clevver. Up next is iZombie, a show about Liv, a recently turned zombie trying to disguise herself as her pre-dead self while solving crimes and mysteries as an assistant medical examiner. Crazy stuff, right? The show is quirky and features a strong female lead character that's a little bit Veronica and a little bit Betty. It's based on a graphic novel and takes on some pretty serious issues and allows its characters to go through some pretty intense stuff. The first 4 seasons are available on Netflix, and its last and final season will be premiering in 2019, so you've actually got plenty of time to binge it. And of course, we couldn't leave Big Little Lies off this list. BLL is about a murder that doesn't resolve until the very final episode, just like season 1 of Riverdale. On the surface, the dramedy seems like it's about a handful of competitive women fighting about who's a better mother and woman. As we get deeper into the series, we realize that these women have a lot of dark secrets that bond them in the end. The cast alone is reason enough to watch. Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Shailene Woodley, Zoe Kravitz, and Laura Dern make up the Monterey, California clique. You can watch the first season on HBO Go and then catch the second season when it premieres next year in 2019. And up next is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now this next one is a little bit of a throwback. Buffy is the queen of teenage mystery and crime fighting. Although Riverdale doesn't have vamps to dust, it does rely on the character's sleuthing skills to move the story forward. Buffy the Vampire Slayer has to adjust to her new life and the insane amount of demons and vampires, while still dealing with the normal teenage problems. It's intelligent well beyond its genre and time, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is a friggin' rock star. Trust us on this one. All 7 seasons are available on Hulu. And of course, we couldn't leave out Vampire Diaries. Now, Vampire Diaries has quite a lot of similarities to Riverdale, and not just because they're both on the CW. Especially in the very first season of Vampire Diaries, it had that whole mysterious vibe going as we try to uncover Catherine and the Salvatore brothers' backstory. There are love triangles, proclamations of undying affection, romantic face-touching, and grand gestures that make our hearts melt. Think Bughead if vampires were involved. Netflix has all 8 seasons. And that about wraps up our list of the 9 shows you should definitely be watching if you love Riverdale. And now we want to know your thoughts. Which shows do you feel belong on this list? Let us know in the comments below, and then you guys can click right over here for another brand new video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm Sinead DeFries, and I'll see you guys next time.